Mr. Dodson, as I explained on the telephone, looks like your property is going to be involved in the new bridge project. But before we get into the project, I'd like to verify some information with you first.
Okay.
You are the owner of the property.
Yes, I'm the trustee of the trust.
Okay. I see where you originally acquired the property back in 1974.
I think that's right, 1974.
Okay. And transferred to the trust in 2001?
Well, that's when we went to our attorney.
Right.
And he said to put half the properties that we owned in Claude's name in a trust, and the other half of the properties in my name in a trust.
Right.
Okay. The area of this property is approximately 10.381 acres.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. I see where you have a recorded trust in the county recorder's office that allows you to sell property rights.
Yes, the plan is to sell off properties to supplement our income, so our attorney advised us to go ahead and record the affidavit.
Okay. I'm not seeing any mortgages or liens on the property.
No, we own it free and clear.
And it looks like the taxes are up to date.
They should be.
They're paid in full.
Okay. Is there anything else about the property that you think I should know?
Nothing that I can think of.
This is a real estate transaction, and all real estate transactions are reported to the Internal Revenue Service. And I'm going to need you to complete a W-9. At some point, you're going to receive some compensation from ODOT, and I'll need you to complete this form to verify your tax identification number. Now, that'll be the tax identification number of the trust.
Okay, I don't know that off the top of my head. Can we do that later?
Sure, we can do that later. The purpose of this project is to replace two culverts on State Route 232. One of the culverts is located on the northeast corner of your property. When the new culverts are put in place, the shoulders will be widened, and this will cause the roadside ditch to be relocated further from the center line than it is today. And this is why your property is going to be needed for the project, to accommodate the relocated roadside ditches. Now, I brought some plans and plan letters that will help you understand what's needed in terms of property from you and how the project affects your property. Now, here's the plan letter, and here's the plan. If I had a little bit more room, I could lay the plans out on the table. This is the property plan, and here's your property here, and here's the culvert.
Okay.
Now this is the detail sheet of the culvert and the project. Now we're going to need two different easements for the project. Now if you refer to your plan letter attachment, the first parcel is a channel easement. And a channel easement is defined as a perpetual easement for the construction and maintenance of perpetual water course, ditch, channel, or other drainage facilities. The owner, you retain the right to use the lands for any and all purposes, provided it does not interfere nor impair with the exercise of the easement. Now you will notice this area is highlighted in blue on the attached plan sheet, on the right-of-way sheet here, and contains 13 thousandths of an acre. Also shown on the plan sheet is an existing channel easement, and I've outlined it in blue. Now the other easement we need is a temporary construction easement, and I've shaded it here in green for you, and it's defined as an agreement to provide necessary working area for a contractor where permanent right-of-way is not needed or desired. For example, temporary detours, construction, working outside of the permanent right-of-way, temporary access roads, channel work not requiring a channel easement, and other required work. There's currently a wire fence that's affected by this temporary construction easement, and also some trees in this area. And like I said, I've highlighted this in green, and it contains 61 thousandths of an acre. Now, do you have any questions about the temporary construction easement or the channel easement?
I understand what the channel easement's for. That's to make this ditch in here.
Right.
Okay. But I don't understand. Why does ODOT need all this extra temporary construction easement here?
Good question. ODOT has enough right-of-way to construct almost all of this roadside ditch for this project. However, it doesn't have enough room to actually build the roadside ditch. The temporary construction easement we anticipate is going to last for 8 months, and it will be working area to build the ditch. Now this project will require closing the roadway. Now to avoid interfering with the school transportation, the road will only be closed after school ends and before it starts up again in the fall.
That makes sense.
Okay. This looks like guardrail right here, but that goes a lot farther than what we have out there right now.
Yeah.
How are we going to get to our property?
Okay, that's correct. ODOT's proposing adding guardrail almost to the top of the hill. Now this is to keep cars from leaving the roadway and ending up down in the ditch. The guardrail stops 100 foot from your northwest corner of your property up on top of the hill where it's flat.
Okay.
Where you've been going in now, so
Right.
basically the access hasn't changed.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the cross sections, and maybe that'll help explain what's going on. As you can see, well, each one of these blocks represents 1 foot horizontally. As you can see, the shoulders of the road have been filled to be flat out 6 feet from the edge of the road. And this allows a disabled vehicle to stop and be able to get out of the roadway.
That makes sense.
However, you also see this 6 foot relates directly to the moving of the ditch over 6 foot. And this is where the need for your property comes to the project.
I see.
It really still isn't that clear to me what's going on. And it's kind of hard for me to imagine sitting here on this flat plans what's going to happen out on our property.
Okay, well why don't we go outside to the project area and take a look at it?
Yeah, that might
That's a
make a
good
lot more
idea.
sense.
Okay. That power pole is on the plans. The new proposed backside of the ditch will be approximately 4 feet this way from the pole. The slope on the shoulder will be filled to make it flatter. The guardrails stay in approximately the same spot, but the slope will begin 2 or 3 feet on the other side of the guardrail and not here at the edge of the pavement as it is now.
There are a lot of trees in that area, plus there's an old fence in there.
Yes, on the right-of-way plans, you'll see a dotted line called the construction limits, and this is where it's anticipated that the dirt will be disturbed. Everything inside that construction limit will be removed, including part of that fence and these shrubs. Do you see that second telephone pole up there on the right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. The guardrail, which we were talking about earlier, will extend past that pole about 24 feet, leaving you 100 feet to access your property. As you can see, this area in front of us is too steep to access now, and that's why we're planning to put it in a guardrail. If this area was not so steep, we wouldn't need the guardrail.
Paul, there's a lot of trees right here. Are all these trees going to be removed?
Yes, because the roadside ditch will be right there.